All right, guys, this is Saturday, May 14th, 2022. Haven't really worked on the 55 today. I had to work on my wife's daily. It had a clunk in the front end. It ended up being a bushing on the strut. Anyway, on her particular car, when I looked at a YouTube video, you can flip the top strut bushing upside down and it will quit. So we got in there and drove to the grocery store while we went back, and no more clunk sound. So that's rather amazing. So this morning, Jason, a friend of mine that helped me, he's the one that pretty much figured out it was my cam button distance causing the clack in my 400 small block in my 55. He sent me a thing on the phone, a text, and it was a picture off of Marketplace, and it was for a complete long block, like a 2000 model Vortec 305. Has a lifter noise is what the guy said. He wants $50 for it. So my truck's down, so I told Jason, I said, well, I don't have a truck, and he didn't say nothing else. And anyway, I told him contact him, see if he's interested in delivering, and then I never heard anything, which I assumed was no. So a few minutes ago, I get a text from Jason that said, you gonna be home? You need to get your cherry picker ready. So he should be pulling in here any minute. So he got 2 days off from work. He's a firefighter in Tulsa. He was off yesterday, and he's off today. He spent half a day here yesterday, and no telling how much time he's devoted just to bring me an old used engine, you know what I mean? But you guys that's watched my channel long enough probably remember me talking about 305 heads, putting them on the old 350s. I'm a fan of that. I've had quite a few of them, and I've took them to the track and ran them. I've had cars that run high 12s with that same combo. My cousin as well, another guy that used to build engines for me back when I was a kid, he's done the same thing. It was kind of like the real redneck cheap way to make horsepower, you know what I mean? It's a 58cc combustion chamber, so it basically jumps up your compression. They don't flow worth a crap, especially for quarter mile. Eighth mile I think might not be too bad, but it was fun to drive around local, you know, stoplight to stoplight was a lot of fun. They got a lot of bottom end on them. But what is even funnier than that, I don't have any experience in Vortec stuff. I knew the Vortec heads, especially like 350 Vortec heads, were awesome. They flowed better and all kinds of stuff with the heart-shaped combustion chamber and all that stuff. I did not know they made a 305 Vortec, an actual Vortec that doesn't have the center intake holes. So that's the main reason I was interested in this engine. That might possibly be the engine that I put in the 4-door 55 for my wife, because it'll run a little bit better than me putting them old school perimeter bolt 305 heads on it. So, and it'll end up being roller cam and all that. I have a set of GM roller lifters in the box over there, so he said it had a lifter tick to it, so, you know, have to tear it apart and check it over, but in the picture it looks pretty crusty, so I'm sure it probably at least needs an overhaul. I don't know how bad the ring gap is, or cylinder wear, ring wear, whatever you want to call it. The ridge at the top basically is usually what I look at, but we're getting ready to see it here in a minute as soon as he gets here. So I'm all set up. I got my wife's car moved out of the way and set up the engine hoist out here. Got a chain ready. I actually had to call him and ask him if that newer of an engine it takes standard bolts like in the head bolts or metric, and he says he's pretty sure they're standard. So I've got standard bolts laying out there, so that's pretty awesome, man. I'm really excited about that. I just watched a video and it was talking about a ski ramp in those 305 Vortec heads. So here he comes right here, and I want this truck. I'd love to have this truck he's driving. Old GMC short wide OBS, little cowl hood on it. It's got the chrome rallies on it. Pretty sweet little truck. All he brought is watchdog. The only thing I really cared about on this engine was the cylinder heads, but depending on how the engine is. we even got a box of goodies. That'll work. Say hello, Jason. Had no idea they made a 305 Vortec. This is news to me. And I'm a big fan of 305 heads on 350, so this is this is awesome. All right, well, we're gonna unload this thing. I'll be back with you in a minute. All right, guys, today is Monday, May 16th, 2022. Today marks day 10 working on the 55 two-door hardtop. I actually didn't work on it Saturday or Sunday, so I come out and wash the frame a little bit to get all the oil and all that stuff off of it, and that's pretty much all I did. Saturday, I just kind of took the day off with my wife and didn't do anything. And then yesterday, we took the dog to the park, and then I mowed the yard and did some yard work. So I just didn't do anything. So I haven't touched this since me and Jason worked on this Friday. I come out this morning, took off the timing cover, and my dang gasket here has oil on it that's soaked all the way through to both sides on the bottoms. So I've already tried using aerosol wax and grease remover and hosing it, letting it run off there, and that didn't work. So then I did it again and then wiped it off, and it didn't work. So I'm gonna try something a little bit more harsh, like brake clean or something, see if I can get that oil out of that gasket, but I don't know if I can. If I can't get it out of there, I can't use it, and I'm gonna have to end up getting another timing cover gasket, which means I'll have to go to the parts store. And once I get all the gasket cleaner or gasket stuff cleaned up on the engine, the surfaces, that timing cover is really the first thing that goes on, and then the oil pan. So I may be dead in the water before I even get started. But I dug through all my gaskets over here, and I do not have another timing cover gasket, and that really makes me mad. I had a gasket kit box on top of this one. There's nothing in it, so this needs to go in the trash. That's pretty frustrating. I did get the oil pan gasket yesterday at O'Reilly's. That's kind of awesome. They had that in stock. But that's planned for today is start on reassembly, but I may have to stop and go to the dang parts store just to get a timing cover gasket, and that really irks me. But I am going to try to clean this one a little bit. I actually might try a little something here. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Who knows? I don't know, man. That might be pretty harsh for that, but we'll try it. I got nothing to lose at this point. Either way, I don't have a timing cover gasket, you know what I mean? Let's see if I can do this one-handed. No way I'm going to use that gasket with oil soak in it. So, I always silicone both sides of my timing cover gaskets. See what that does. Dang it. Might have known that would stop me right there. So all I bought at O'Reilly's was another tube of ultra gray silicone and the Felpro one-piece oil pan gasket. I didn't buy a timing cover gasket, and I didn't buy intake gaskets because I have the 305 gasket kit over there, and I thought, well, I'll just use those to save a little money. And then this morning, taking the timing cover off, it has oil drippage or runnage off on the end. Might have known. Anyway, that's a plan. Try to reseal the engine up, possibly get it back together, and may try to fire it at least today or tomorrow. If I do not have an engine noise after that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to paint. I've got to get the deck lid top painted and one door painted and the gas door repainted. And I mean, that's pretty much where it's at. I'll just paint a couple more body panels, and then I can start cutting and buffing the other panels, like the fenders and the other door, and I can at least put one door on. I do need to spray the inlays, the coves on the long quarter moldings and the door spears. I'm going to use the Galaxy Gray Pearl I have here, base coat, clear coat that I put on my brake pedal and heater box and all the other accessories in there. So it'll be a nice little breakup on there. Originally it's white, and I'm not putting white on black, and I don't care for that much. But once I get the paint dividers and the quarter moldings and all that painted, at that point I can put the quarter glasses in, get them adjusted, and then put the doors on. All right, so I got back from O'Reilly's. I went ahead and got a front pump or front timing cover set. The old one, I tried everything. I tried wax and grease remover, brake clean, carburetor cleaner. I even dipped them in lacquer thinner. It won't get the oil out of that paper gasket, so there's no way I'm going to try that, especially not on this car. Maybe something else later, but definitely not this car. I do not need a leak. All right, I'm going to torque down my main here that we pulled and check the condition of the bearing. So I set it at 30 first. Now I'm going to do 55. Now I'm going to do 70. I wish they'd make these numbers a little bit smaller. Sure it's down. All right, now I got to torque the rod caps. And those are 45. I've already double checked the caps. I was just under the car. I've already checked them. I made sure the tangs are facing away from the the rods. Make sure they're facing the crank fillets. But I'm going to do one of them's going to be hard to get to. I think the other one I can get to, but I'm going to have to get back on there and look. I may have to roll the engine over. That's a big negative. Ah, crap. This is not going to be too fun, I don't think. I don't even know if I can crank this thing over or not. Dang it. Jason brought that socket that fits on the 1/2-inch drive, you know, that goes on the crank snout, and man, that thing's a dream to have. I've always wanted one, I just never think to buy one. So I ordered one off eBay. I got one for 16 bucks, I think. It's aluminum. He did say I should probably get a steel one, but the steel ones were like 35 to 50 or 60 bucks. So I went ahead and got the aluminum. You know, you can only get what you can afford, basically, is what the deal is. But golly, man. Gonna have to get redneck on it. Maybe. I might need to go the other way. Oh yeah, there we go. I do not want to forget to turn that back so I don't get 180 out. All right, kind of hurt my hand a little bit. I'll live though, it's nothing mega. I have to put it back where it was. All right, it's pretty much about 5 o'clock, so I'm going to call it for the night. I've got the intake mating surface all cleaned on the block. I got the timing cover put on. I got the oil pan put on. I got the balancer put on. That oil pan was not fun. Being, you know, when you're underneath the car laying on your back on the concrete is not fun. I got it on there, but man, it was a mess. All right, guys, so I got a UPS package, I think it was yesterday or day before, from a subscriber, and he wants to remain anonymous. So we will call him today, Those Who Shall Not Be Named. So anyway, he had basically emailed me, and he told me that he had found a brand new extra set of windshield wiper extensions and wanted to know if I wanted them for my wife's four-door. So I told him yes, I could use some. I have a used pair, but he had these extras are brand new. He said he guessed he bought an extra set and forgot about it. So he did say in another email that he decided he was going to send me another surprise. He didn't want to tell me what it was. Now I've already opened this and looked at it, and I already showed my wife. And man, she's excited. I'm excited. I'm blown away. In this little box, there's a lot of money in here. He sent me some nice stuff, so let's get to it. I do want to say, before I open this, you have really got to pay attention to every word I say in my videos on a couple of these items. He knew I needed, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So when I open this up, you know, the first thing, of course, it's all rearranged from the way he did it, but there's the brand new wiper extensions for my wife's four-door. I have a new set for my hardtop, but these basically go up here over the wiper deal once the cowl panel's on. So brand new, and he had an extra set, and he bought an extra and didn't know it. Now the elephant in the room when I opened the package the first time when I seen those was this. This was completely unexpected. This is a brand new, never used third brake light for the trunk. So, you know, originally these have a crest in them, and this is actually a third brake light. That's actually the box that this came in. It has the instructions and everything. These are expensive, but I did not think about this. You know, building that four-door for my wife, I want that car as safe as I can get it, and this will add a lot of extra security in the back for me because she has a third brake light, so, you know, somebody won't run into her. Hopefully. Shouldn't. But here is a couple of items here. These are two stainless steel wing nuts. They're 3/8 by 16. The video that I posted a couple days ago on my wife's four-door, I was building the jack stuff to where the jack actually bolts into the trunk of the car, and I'd mentioned that I'd like to have stainless for those. I was just doing it with what I had here, so I used CAD plated wing nuts. He sent me two stainless steel wing nuts, and these he had laying around. He didn't go buy those for me, but this is from a video a long time ago. This is what really kind of blew me away in the fact that he must have remembered this. These are the bump stops for the lower control arms. Now on my wife's four-door, when I restored that chassis, I didn't have these new. I had a couple of old red. They were new, but I'd never used them on anything. They're red energy suspension, just square universal style bump stops. These are actually for a Tri-5 lower control arm because they have the alignment pin on it here. These are brand new. These are actually urethane, and these are pretty pricey themselves. The other one's still in the little plastic wrapper, but that is awesome. And then this was in there as well. This is a brand new, never even opened out of the package, hood crest for a 55. That is what that insert is, the same, you know, pretty much insert that should be in that trunk crest, but instead it's a third brake light. But it's kind of funny because I had a pair of these that I got from my cousin when he restored his car. He just bought all new again. His car had been restored probably 20 years before he got it, so these were new-ish, and I had cleaned them up and you know, tried to clean them up and polish them. Both of them, the plastic was broken free from the tabs, so I went in there and JB welded, you know, on the tabs to hold the plastic insert in. But when I was working on it, the paint was actually flaking off the back of it, so they look like hell now. The chrome's shiny, but actually the back bezel, the one I got from my cousin, was pretty pitted. So that reproduction stuff, you know, it's obviously doesn't last as long as original. But so I'm blown away, man. I got, you know, I didn't ask him to send me this stuff, and I think it's pretty crazy that he wants to remain anonymous. But you know, I'll do that. And I do appreciate it. So thank you, those who shall not be named. And in his email, his last one, he had stated that his wife wanted him to give these other parts to us for my wife's car. So I think she must watch the videos as well, and she must be pulling for that 4-door for my wife, enjoying that build video. So thanks, those who shall not be named, for that. That's way awesome, man. Much appreciated. So I wanted to go ahead and show that. It's hardtop day, but I wanted to go ahead and show that since it was, you know, laying out here in the garage.